Alright. Coffee. Good morning. Just had to get our coffee going and take care of a few things. Did a quick quality check on my work computer. Let's see if we can actually access the stream from a non Facebook account and from a non-me account, or one related to us. So this morning in the stream, we're going to get into putting together the Hellscythe by Hresvelgr head, and then we're going to probably put together the wings for the nice. Apparently my chat page isn't responsive now on YouTube. It's got to be something. There's always something going on. Anyway, hopefully chat pops up as people show up. Anyway, so then we want to build the wing pack for the Hellscythe, because those are pretty much for sure things. We'll probably get the core body built, figure out how to get our legs going, what extra armor parts we're going to use off the 1/100 scale Hellscythe kit, and just been kicking around some ideas for the wings. I want to do definitely an upper set of wings, the big 1/100 scale wings. Obviously, the really nice, cool looking bat or dragon wings, demon wings, whatever the hell you want to call them. But being as how I also had those 1/144th scale ones that my brother sent up, I've been kicking around the idea of maybe giving her a tail set of tail wings. And I have these articulate pieces. I believe these are off of the Nataku set, and you can almost make a perfect circle with them. They're slightly off, but I could use this and just be done with it. It'd be easy to be like, okay, this is the wing pack. Attach it to the back of the wings, and then just give it a simple little twist for posing, and it could just attach to her back underneath the other wing pack or something, and just be done with it. And we're, Bob's your uncle. We're on to, other projects. So she could have a little tail coming off. But I have enough extra parts floating around. Different little things and lots of PCV parts. So I'm exploring options of actually making. I even have the 1/144th shoulder blades, which could be amended to be vertebrae, and I mean it wouldn't be too difficult to. I don't know where the other one is. It's in here somewhere. Anyway, it wouldn't be too difficult to modify that to have a couple of sections of spine, made out of shoulder pads or various PCV parts. I could always come in here and just obviously as a hypothetical here, something like this could very easily go into something like that, and then we've essentially got an articulate spinal cord that we can mess around with. It would be pretty much fully posable. The only thing is, it wouldn't have the side-to-side rotation that we would get with a ball joint. So I might play around with that. I might come up with some sort of tail, because I do really like the idea of her maybe being kind of a dragon or dragon hybrid kind of character, having that that nice tail, because the 1/144th wings look so perfect for that. Almost kind of looks like Toothless's tail. For shits and giggles, we could actually just paint this red. Obviously, the wings normally would have this piece on here, but we might be able to incorporate these in as like side skirts on her, on her lower abdomen, on her hips. So she could have, some hip wings, some back wings, and this really cool tail idea. I think would just be the butter on the bread. So anyway, we're gonna get into the head. I'm going to tidy that up so that it's a little bit more square for you guys, and I'll go get all my head parts. and immediately drop half of them on the ground because that's, that's life. Fortunately, thought ahead. I put them all in a tube. You may notice, I don't know if you've been watching any of these videos or streams or any of that kind of stuff, you may notice that there is a little bit more light going into the area now. I have built, I've done a little bit of modifications here in my studio yesterday to get more light in here. One of the things I've always felt in my little corner of the basement is that it's always been a little dank, a little dark. So I found a lamp, and I installed that into the roof of my workspace here. I hung a mirror the other day, which does help with the light. And I found this cool shelf there yesterday. Sorry, that's really janky, isn't it? So I've got this really cool mirrored shelf, an idea that my brother and I came up with some years ago for his place to display his model kits, and I've always wanted to make myself one, and I've kind of done that now, so I'm pretty happy about that. And I found these new light bulbs from the dollar store of all places. They're LED light bulbs inside of a housing. Looks like a standard light bulb with kind of like a armor plating. It's got like these metal fins to cool them. They're LED centers with a bulb around them. Super bright. The 100-watt ones are putting about 1,600 lumens out, so I've got 3 of those right overhead here now, and we're at about 4,800 lumens in the area, which helps. The one right above up here, up there, is at 520 lumens. So hopefully it's not too bright, and the workspace here is not really being affected. I mean, you can obviously see the parts. You can see the drop shadows. I don't think I have a way to dim the camera. I might be able to adjust some settings in there if it's too much, but it doesn't look too bad on the OSB page there, or on my dashboard. So oh, good. Looks like I finally got my chat to reboot, so yay. Okay, so we're just gonna go ahead and get her put back together on her head. Where's her? I'm going to go ahead and grab her neck joint real quick, just so that I can have that. I need H3. A2. So the only major downside to this particular neck so far that I see is they've given me a really small neck pen. So there's probably not going to be a lot of posing going on with this kit just because of how tiny that is. The other ones have had a neck pin similar in size, but it gets posted inside of a larger throat piece. It does not appear that that's going to be a thing with this kit. Oh, yeah. No, it gets one. It just gets it over the top of the... What the hell am I doing? That's the part I want. I don't want this then. Anyway, we're just going to put this in here real quick. That'll be built for later. Gee, Matt, if you just look ahead in the instructions by like 2 instruction boxes, you'll see exactly what you're looking for. That's what happens, see? As you can see, I'm working on my first cup of coffee here, so... I'm normally up and getting ready for work at about 5:15, so on the weekends I don't set my alarm, and I still manage to wake up before 7. And usually the family's still asleep, so I usually just come here to my desk or go to the PlayStation or the Xbox or go and do something that's quiet and keeps me occupied and doesn't wake anyone up. But since I've gotten back into this and I've kind of got my studio back together for the first time in 6 years, I have a new passion, almost a new passion for life. But I tend to save pieces of runner after they've been used. I mean, there's obviously nothing on that, but you never know when you're going to need to make a pin. You never know when you're going to need something in a similar color, or in this particular case, I want to make something that I can grab onto with the alligator clips, so that I'm not excuse me. So I'm not sitting here handling all the pieces over and over again. I actually have something that I can kind of hold without getting my fingerprints all over it. That's a bit of a stretch. I'm just going to file the end of this down a little bit so it fits a little better in there without stretching out the piece. And I don't want it to be loose when we put the kit together on its final. I sanded it too much. All right, the other side then. Here we go. Should fit. Alright, what's going on? Have to have her head in for that? Her face? I guess it's about time we choose the face. Okay. I am going to go ahead and grab this one. It's hard to tell what the difference is supposed to be between them. I think they're pretty much identical, but... Okay. guess I should have left this in, but then I'd have lost my flesh tone piece, and that would have sucked. So let's get that. So I am liking how this it's a rustic orange color that I've chosen for. It was actually going to be the main color of this kit. I was gonna do her in like fall colors, and then I got to thinking about Halloween, and I was like, hey, why don't I do that? Why don't I do a Halloween theme for this kit? I think that would be really, really awesome, the way to go. And that's pretty much how that idea evolved. So yes, these can go on without that. And what I'll do is I'll come in here in the shadows and I'll add some deep browns, just to give it a reddish brown, darker brown hair color. That's what I ended up with. And I think it's going to really be a good contrast with this purple. Yeah. The trick's going to be getting these on without gluing them to the purple. Oh, good. There's just enough paint in there to hold that tight for me. Okay. Now we've got our horns in, and if I've done this right, once this dries a little bit, I ought to be able to be able to peel this whole faceplate away. So that's the hope, is that that comes off like a headband kind of thing. We're just going to give that a second to dry before I try to handle it anymore. I don't want to have any issues. God knows I've dealt with myself frustration between the last build and the one before. I don't need to add any more right now. Looks like I'm going to have to glue that too. I was hoping I wouldn't need to. I was hoping it would just be a snap build, but it does not look like that's going to be the case. I believe this is the right one for here, right? And see, like I said, I'm on the fence with putting these in because I feel like I could just black that out and it'll look like a vent. I think it'll look better than those. I think I'm going to leave those out. Now, this should, if I'm not mistaken, come on, work with me. There we go. That's what I was hoping for. Okay, perfect. So now we can get on and off with the face. I can actually switch faces now. I was kind of thinking I might not be able to do that. Just kind of afraid there might be a bit of a issue there with that. Oops, sounds like I have people awake. Sounds like I'm about to be visited. Straight one there. We're getting there. Oh, never mind. It's the neighbor. He's out having a smoke. The guy smokes probably 3 packs a day. Can't breathe. He's out there coughing and hacking up his lungs. Thought maybe it was my dog barking for a minute in the bedroom. That says something, eh? So we decided we're going to try to use this. In order to do so, we're going to need to attach it to that. I think the goal that I'd come up with yesterday was to try to get this guy to just glue to the top of that. I don't think I'll have to modify it. Okay, except for that little part. Now, usually, I'm very, very not keen on gluing the clear plastic parts because it usually gets like a foggy residue in the weld joint where it goes, and I'm hoping that doesn't happen this time. think what I'm going to try to do to prevent that is I'm just kind of get in there and maybe I'm going to set the glue and then scrape away just a little bit of it, so it's just barely in there and it doesn't squish the piece too bad. Let's see if that helps. I always find it how interesting is how something so little as just giving her some little devil horns on her head can make such a difference on a kit. Just the little things, you know, one little detail can change so much, and essentially makes her a completely different kit. I mean, obviously, when this is all said and done, there's going to be a lot more than just that happening. There'll be, you know, the addition of the wing pack, the larger legs, giving her that elongated look. Yeah, something else I should do here before I get too much further ahead of myself is put this front piece in too, eh? And it looks natural. It looks like it's, you know, like it's always supposed to have been there, like it was never an afterthought. Okay. I could move this up. It's basically got to go right there, which is okay. That's kind of where I want it anyway. Fuck. Alright. There we go. There's our headpiece. To go over the front of the face, we're just going to give that a few more moments to dry. I'd like to get that to sit. And it's pretty spot on. I could put a micrometer on it to make sure, but I don't have one. I kind of just have to wing it here and hope that that's... I mean, it looks pretty center. Doesn't look like it's off. I just want to get a little bit of... bottom. just going to bolster this back here with a little bit of extra glue and make sure it sticks. That was the whole point of putting that pin in there, but it never can be. I'm not going to set that in there just yet because I did just put the glue in there, but I think that's what we're ending up with. Sit a little bit more straight, a little flush. Obviously we'll sit back another 1/8 of an inch, but that's what we're ending up with. It's gonna look good. I'm happy with that. So we're just going to give that a few moments to dry, and I'm going to go ahead and grab my wings and get those put together for the Hellscythe kit. Huh. Why aren't they showing? Wow, those are literally the instructions for how to build the wing. This page, that's it. They don't show you how to build. Oh, there you go. There's the little box. Like they didn't show you the boxes to build the little. But they're there. So we need some PCB parts. We're gonna need all that. We'll get to the rest of this in a second, but we're going to get all these built. Now, yes, I did paint everything while on the runners. I know there's a lot of people out there that won't do that. I like to have a good solid base coat, and rather than paint each individual piece after it's already been put together, I like to have all of my stuff pretty much a solid color to begin with, and then I can do the touch-ups on it later. I can do the, if I end up doing any little sanding or anything, it ends up not being the end of the world, because it can usually be touched up fairly easily. Having a nice sharp scalpel also helps. You just clean this off, and there is just the slightest bit of gray there from the original color, but that's easy enough to clean up. And usually, if I've got pieces that are going to be monocolored, like these wings, I mean, obviously when this all put together, I can come back after and give them a second coat of black. And as long as I don't go too heavy on my coats, it still retains all the detail lines and everything, but it does give you that second coat of paint after you've got all your pieces together. And it does give you a chance, especially if you've got seam lines, to really see the difference in one seam to the other. And you can clean that up and get it polished up real nice, get it finished off. Now, sometimes it bites me in the ass. I've had an issue there with the heavy arms Jinra build, my store, my spring kit. The paint that I was using, just every time I had to do any touch-up or anything, it just lifted the base coat just about every time, and it was so frustrating. And I got to the point with that kit where I wanted to be done. I put so much time and effort and energy into something to just keep having the paint be a problem. And I don't think it would have mattered if I'd have done the base coat first or not. I think it was really more just an issue of the lightness of that pink with how much thinner maybe was in the can. I think it just was what it was. And I tried a couple different methods. I tried thinning the paint a little bit. I tried letting the paint set up and get tacky in the cup for the touch-up, just to see if, if it was a thinning issue. But it just seemed like every time I had to go over the pink anywhere, it wanted to lift off the base. And there were a couple pieces I had to completely, whether I used paint thinner and rubbing alcohol to get all of the paint off of the piece and start over from scratch with the paint, or sand it off or scrape it off with a scalpel. There were quite a few pieces I ended up completely repainting from scratch, and that takes a lot out of you when you think you're getting somewhere, and then you have to go 10 steps back to fix something that's really so trivial. And I could have probably just left it alone and it been battle damage and it would have looked great. But with these 4 anyway, I don't want to do battle damage. I want to actually keep them very, very pristine, very new looking. They're, whoops, that was the wrong one, wasn't it? Shit. Where are they, right? Oh no, that's right. Okay, good. As they are intended to be kind of like goddesses, maidens. I mean, that's where I'm drawing the inspiration for the titling of them. On that note, titling them, I still haven't fully decided on a name for my summer build, which she's going to be the Soul Hornet from the Megami Device line, melded with the Destiny Gundam from Seed. And her scheme, she's going to be, I mean, obviously she's summer, so her color schemes are going to be white, gold. I'm probably going to utilize this rustic orange in there with some reds and yellows. I'm going to give her kind of a fiery, kind of Phoenix type of feel or vibe. So she's kind of in the works. She's in the back of my mind right now as I'm building this one. Same with this one. As I was building Heavy Arms Jinrai, I was contemplating kind of what I wanted to do with this kit. And I mean, it all started there with the finding of the Megami Device Asura Ninja kit at the Calgary Comic-Con this year. It kind of re-sparked and rekindled my want to get back into model building. I got out probably in about 2004, about the time, 2004 maybe, yeah, that sounds about right, about the time that I got married to my first wife, and unfortunately that didn't work out, and that's a story for another day. But I think for the better, here we are today. I guess I say unfortunately, but fortunate because now I'm here and I'm doing this, and I've got a much better life, better place. Anyway, we're moving on. We'll get past that. What was I? Back into model building. When I got out of model building the first time, the Gundam Girl kits were just kind of hitting the market. It was a new. I don't know if it was kind of Bandai's push to try to get feminine interest in the hobby, or if it was fan service for the boys. I don't really know. I'm glad they did, though, because right about the time I was getting out, I think the full armor Gundam, Gundam Mark II, and there was one other that had been released. There's 3 of them, and getting your hands on them was nearly impossible back then. They were so outrageously expensive. We're talking like $300 for a kit. When they first came out, and they were just, I think the first time we saw one was at Anime Expo 2002, which incidentally I think was the last Anime Expo I went to. But I think that's the first time we saw one, and immediately my brothers and I were just beside ourselves, like, oh my god, this is such a cool idea. Why didn't they do this before? And I always wanted one, So I actually I built my own. I made my own Gundam Girl, as they were referred to back then. I built her. She's on my DeviantArt page somewhere in my archives. And I basically I went out and found an anime girl figurine. I butchered the hell out of it. I built a Gundam kit around it, and it was okay. I was still learning things back then, and it wasn't anything exemplary. It wasn't anything to write home about necessarily, but it did come out okay. I put a lot of detailing in on the weaponry, and she for an attempt to make something that didn't exist at the time, or barely existed at the time, I didn't do too bad. Now here it is, 14 years later, and I go to this Comic-Con and I see this thing that's basically exactly what I was trying to build back then, and I just fires of inspiration hit, and I started with the samurai. I saw that one, and I want to say they had the Soul Hardened, the Soul Roadrunner, the Samurai, and one other kit. I'm trying to remember what the other kit was. Anyway, I guess it doesn't really matter, but they had like 4 kits there, and I was kind of torn between them. I didn't know which one I wanted, but I get home, and I'm looking over the Samurai kit, and they've got the instructions, or not the instructions, but like the photo art box shows her with some optional parts, and I'm sitting there trying to figure out where the optional parts are in the box, and they're not there. And it's really bothering me because I really want to build it the way this box shows, like how come I can't build this thing that's on here? And I don't read kanji, so of course on the box I have no idea what it's trying to imply or trying to say about needing any other kits. And yeah, it turns out I needed to get the Megami Device Asura Archer kit in order to build the Samurai. And so I did a quick little hobby search when I got home on various different websites. My brothers turned me on to a site called Hobby Link Japan, and I found a few other things. And as I'm cruising around on there, I kind of, oh yeah, this is cool, that's cool. Oh man, I can't believe this has come out, and wow, that's neat. And it's just all these kits that I'd love to build. Like I didn't even know about Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans. I found out about that as I've been doing the search. Like I've been so out of touch with anime, with everything. I mean, I don't think I ever really 100% got into Gundam. I like the styles of the model kits, and I enjoy the building. But the series itself never really got me hooked. I did like the Dynasty Warrior games. I still have in my collection the MS Saga for the PS2. And that's the one where you play an RPG and you get to kind of build your own Gundam as you collect parts. And it's actually a fun game. If you've never played it, try it out. It's good. Anyway, totally derailed my train of thought. Yeah, so then I get the kit ordered. It comes in, and I put it together, kind of in accordance with the way it's supposed to go together. And I'm sitting here and I'm looking at it, and I'm just kind of there's just something about it. I just couldn't put my finger on it at first, and then finally it dawns on me: the lower legs of the kit, once assembled. The Samurai, that's what I found out it was later called, it's called the Asura Samurai when you meld the two, the Archer and the Ninja, together. They just were lacking leg armor. Like it was this armored upper torso, this really cool armored skirt thing going on, all this really neat stuff, and then like no lower leg armor. It was just really lacking. So I wanted to do something about that, and I'm sitting there trying to figure something out, and okay, well maybe I can order a Musha Gundam is what I'm thinking. I'll order one of the Musha Gundams, and then I'll have a few extra armor parts, and it'll look really cool. And I can essentially make a Gundam girl here. And then as I'm going around, finding out more about frame arms and whatnot, and I get the I watch the Frame Arms Girl series that's on YouTube. I watched the whole first season there, and I'm kind of getting into the show, and I really like, you know, the character designs and the models, and finding out that they have model kits was also, you know, really neat. But then I get to the part where I start ordering stuff, and I come up with the why is that wrong? Doesn't that go there? Or am I missing a part? Oh, let's check those into here. I get to the Frame Arms site, and I find out about the Magatsuki. And as soon as I saw the leg armor and the Magatsuki, I was just, this is what I have to get. This is the one. And so I ordered the Magatsuki kit. I immediately take the legs off. I find that putting the legs on aren't going to be quite as difficult as I thought. I have to modify the knee joint slightly. So now she's got like a double jointed knee, but I guess in this case it'd be like a triple jointed knee. So she still retains that full range of motion, even though she's got those big legs on. And anywho, did I screw that up? So I can fix that here. Come on, get in there. Son of a bitch. I shouldn't pay attention to that. Yeah, I see what Richard's talking about there. That is a really tiny pin to go into the back. I'll have to fix that with a nice sticker pin. So anyway, so I get the Shiva going, and as I'm painting it, that light blue color that I found came out really nice. But the clear coat I'd gotten some secondhand clear coat off of my wife. She had bought this stuff from my buddy Tim. He runs a Community Games and Geeks downtown Cranbrook here. You may have seen me wearing the hat and the shirt, I think, in yesterday's stream. Anyway, she got some clear stuff, and he was getting into Warhammer down there and offering supplies, and this armor paint Warhammer stuff that he had got was really cool. It actually gave like a frosted look to the kit, like she was kind of icy cold, and that's where the idea hit right then and there was, hey, I could do her as like an ice kit. And you know, in my mind already I was thinking what would be really cool would be to do a Heavy Arms girl, and I don't know if that's because Heavy Arms was one of my favorite kits or just the design with all the rockets and the guns, and I mean, twin Gatling guns are cool as shit to be sure, but something about that kit just kind of, this is what I need to do. And at that point, I kind of came up with a list of ones that I wanted to build, and I thought, you know, the Heavy Arms one would be a good complement to this samurai. You know, you'd have this samurai with the swords and kind of this icy cold look. I could do this pink one. She could be the Heavy Arms, and the pink and the blue would really look, you know, good together, offset each other really well. It would give that nice contrast on the shelf, and you know, essentially I'd have these two kits. It'd be really pretty to have them together. And as I'm sitting there looking at that idea, I'm thinking about it one morning. I go, well, why stop there? Why just do two? Why not do 4 seasons? Why not do a winter kit, a spring kit, a summer kit, a fall kit? And so I'm building the fall kit now, but as I'm building the spring kit, I order that MSG Option Parts sword, because I was kind of thinking, well, I might give that to the Archer, or to the Shiva build, the winter one, just so she's got something other than the 2 samurai swords. And I get it here, and I'm putting it together, and you know, it's got different ways that it can be built according to the instructions, and You can get a second one and build this giant Buster Sword looking thing, or you can, there, the head is done, and I think that looks decent. If I see, it did kind of frost right there. I don't know if that comes out on the camera, but the glue did kind of frost this piece a little bit. I might be able to get that polished out with some rubbing alcohol or something, and a little bit of sanding sponge. But yeah, I think I'm going to leave these out, and I'll just paint this black in here so that it's got a nice like intake feel to it. And then this little piece here will probably end up this light purple. And I might get in here with some of the gray, because I do have that that gray, primer gray, so I might get in here and do something down in here with that primer gray. I don't know. Might leave it. That looks pretty decent though. I'm pretty happy with that. Let's get her here so that she can watch us build her kit. Watch us build herself. Except it's not going to stay, is it? Come on. Oh, let's try the opposite side here. There we go. She's just not going to stay. It's just not going to happen. All right. Well, we'll build the torso later, and then we'll have a torso, and she can sit on the torso. But there's the head. Like I said, very happy with how it came out. Definitely like those horns. I think that looks pretty damn decent. I'm pretty happy with that. Almost looks like it's supposed to be there. I think it's hard to beat that. And then of course that's painted in the same color as the wings are going to be. I wanted to have that continuity of having the flat black be the wings, the hair, or not the hair, but the horns. And if I do this tail thing, it'll probably be the color of the tail. Again, I'm pretty stoked on that idea. It kind of came to me not so much last night. It came to me earlier when I realized I had the 1/44 wing pieces. I was debating a way to use them, and I was thinking about just giving her 4 wings, with like the upper wings and then the lower wings down below, like on her abdomen, so that she'd have this quad wing setup. Holy shit, that's a lot of plastic. But anyway, so it would actually kind of be like, like this on her back. But as Richard pointed out, these pieces are pretty static. I'm going to have to make a joint to move them around, and I'd be all right with that. But you look at that armor plating going into the kind of battle situation, you just turn around and you got a full body shield basically. But anyway, so then I got to thinking, well, what if we disconnected this and had it over here on some sort of tail? And like I said, I do have these Notaku pieces that I could very easily just do something like that, and that could come off of there. It wouldn't look too bad, but I just don't feel that I have enough mobility in there. I don't have enough joints, so I'm probably going to create a custom spine. I'm probably going to have that come off of her tail, and as her tail, I'll be able to, at that point I can choose how long I want it. I can choose how much depth I want it, and then we can always put these in on her hips. I think, I'm not 100% sure. She doesn't have any side skirts like the other kits do, so kind of not sure how I'm going to get that in there. I might have to modify it so that it's a part of the backpack or something, but at that point it might be too much to have another set of wings coming off. But I mean, it really, it might not look too bad either. So we'll see. She's going to be a little closer to complete here in a bit, and once we have a body, we can go from there. But anyway, this video is, I just noticed the video is just over an hour. We've got the head done. We're almost on the wings. So I think we're going to stop this video, let that go to archive. So we'll give it about a 5-minute rest here. Let that do its thing, and then we'll start the stream again so that we can get these wings finished up. You know what, hell with it. We're this close to finishing the wings. Let's just finish the wings now, and then I'll stop the video, and So I want to try to keep these things about an hour at the max. I'd like to get them closer to 30 minutes, because I know no one wants to sit through an hour-long video of somebody talking and building model kits. I mean, if they did, they'd be in the stream, right? That's the whole point of that. Anyway, hopefully those stream links are working and I'm not having issues. Hopefully people are able to get on. I did a quality check from my work computer, like I said earlier, and it went through just fine. I don't have Facebook on my work computer. I looked up the studio page, I found the link, and I was able to submit the link into the search bar, and it went straight through. So if you're having problems viewing the stream or getting access to the stream, at this point, I don't know what to say. I've done just about everything I can. The only thing I can do is make my personal page, my personal Facebook page public, and I don't really want to do that, being as how it is my personal page. I have my pictures of my kids on there, and I don't want anyone to be able to see those. Not to say that anyone here watching these videos or hanging out here would be a creeper, but there are creepers out there, and in the world we live in today, I don't take unnecessary risks with my kids. I feel it's kind of my duty to make sure that they get the best chance at life and surviving this world that we live in. Now, I'm pretty sure this is supposed to go in here somewhere. I thought it went onto this upper peg, yeah. Oh, sorry, no, it goes onto this peg. That's right. There we go. There we go. That's the one that goes in. And then when it comes down, it can clip, right? Ta-da. Looks like those could have already used a second coat. They were molded in red, and I'm going to give them the gray so that they kind of have that kind of bone look. That's what I've done with the legs as well, so that they're kind of they're not white. I would have gone with the same off-white that I used for the samurai, except that that particular color from the offset did everything the pink one did. That pink one was during touch-up. This off-white color that I picked up, it's a Rust-Oleum product. It was called Sandy Beige. Beautiful color. Excellent off-white. But every time I sprayed something, and I mean, I must have shook that rattle can for 45 minutes. The first time I tried to use it, it left like sandy grit all over my pieces, and then I had to clean them off and start over. And then the second time I used it, after I'd shaken the ever-loving bejesus out of it, the second time I tried to use it, it did what the pink one did in that it separated from itself. So, here I spray this piece, and I get it all sprayed, and as it's drying, it pulls away from itself. It starts to crack and split and create these really ugly. I mean, I'm sure it's cool to look at if that's the effect you're going for. But it like pulled away from itself. It pulled off of the plastic. It pulled off itself, and then I tried to sand it and respray it, and it did it again. And I was so frustrated with that I didn't want to use it anymore. But I'd already kind of committed to using that color for her, so that she wasn't just white and blue and gray and mica. I wanted to give her that optional extra color, and I ended up happy with the result in the long run. But it just the process of getting there was just a nightmare. And so yeah, these go with the points going out. Oh, so that it can lock. Oh, look at that! You guys thought everything here. Smart. Look at that. Genius. Just genius. There we go. Ta-da. So. I just realized how heavy this is. I'll be surprised if she's able to stand on her own. Heavy Arms is able to stand on her own, so maybe there's some hope here. Maybe she'll be able to stand on her own. But why isn't this one fitting inside? Come on. There we go. Ta-da! Okay, so there we go. Wing pack is done. So we've got our wings. We've got our head in the back. I'm going to probably sit right about there somewhere. I think that's going to look pretty sweet. Yeah. I'm Batgirl. Yeah. No, that's looking decent. Okay, so yeah, we'll finish this. We'll stop this video. We'll take a quick 5, finish and refill my coffee, and I'll be back in just a minute.